I'm Drew from the Deep End.
And I'm Dale from the Deep End, and we are here with Rock Metal Mag.
Pissed off, ripped off, and turned away. She never gave me the time of day. Waiting, wasting too much time. Ain't got a chance, ain't got a fucking dime. Is it a foreign concept? Just to throw me a bone. If you come to my man, you better leave me alone. I ain't got no time to rest.
It's a very complicated story, so I'll try and keep it short if I can. It was Jazz, the other guitarist, who came up with the Deep End as a band name, and basically what he wanted to get across was that if you are, in Australia there's a term, if you are thrown in the deep end, that means you have your back against the wall, you have a lot of hard work to do. So we thought, if we call ourselves the Deep End, we know it's going to be a hard road, it's a long way to the top if you want to rock and roll. But we want to keep pushing as hard as we can, and that's what the Deep End means.
I think Europe's been great so far. I've really enjoyed myself. And we've heard great things from other bands from Australia that have come to Europe. They've basically just told us you've got to go over there and play. The crowds love it. The people really look after you. So, it's been great so far.
The reception's been amazing. We've been playing shows to people that we've never played shows to before, and these people are rocking up to the gigs and they know the words and they're going crazy, and
sometimes driving hours.
Driving like 400, 500 kilometres to come see a show. And for us, to come over all the way, and, it seems like a hard thing to do, but when you have people like that play, that you play to at each show, it makes it so much worth it. It's worth it and more. It's amazing.
Everyone's just so nice over here.
Everyone's really nice. Everyone's been fantastic, yeah. We haven't had any fights or anything. Absolutely. You want to chime in on this one as well, or should I just...
You can kick it off and I'll join in.
Basically, in Australia, the whole pub rock scene is... I'm not going to say it's dead, because there are still a lot of great bands in Australia that are playing the pubs almost every night of the week.
Well, the difference is that there's a scene in Australia and there's a scene here and there's a scene everywhere else in the world. It's just that the rock scene in Europe is a lot bigger than the one in Australia. It's not as big as it was 10, 20 years ago.
Yeah, the problem for us, especially since probably the late 80s, all of the pubs that bands used to play at every night, bands like the Angels, Rose Tattoo, AC/DC, every night at all these pubs, they all started closing down because they couldn't afford to keep going anymore. So in Melbourne, which is the rock capital of Australia, now you've only got a handful of venues that you can play at. Not like back in the day where you could play everywhere. You could go see a live band every night of the week. You can't really do that much anymore. And because touring's so hard as well, there's not as many bands that are making it to the next step. Because in Australia, if you want to play one big city and then the next day play the next big city, the closest big city, that's at least a 10-hour drive. Whereas here, it's a lot different. You can play Paris one day and then Lyon and then Lille or wherever within just a few hours of each other.
I mean, we're not used to playing all through the week, are we?
No.
What is it, a Tuesday?
We usually play a Friday or a Saturday night, and then wait till the next weekend, and then we go to another state. We might play Melbourne and then Sydney and then Brisbane the weekend after that. So...
yeah.
So it's a lot different back home.
There's a scene there. It's a lot bigger in Europe at the moment.
Yeah, we've heard that a bit. Look, Airborne are a massive influence for us. Not just their music, but their work ethic. We're fortunate enough that we know the guys personally, and to see what they started off with and then what they've become and how hard they've worked for it, that would be for us the biggest influence of theirs. We grew up, all of us, on bands like AC/DC and Cold Chisel and Rose Tattoo and the Angels. We've got a lot of other influence as well, like Mr. Van Halen over here.
Yeah. We like a lot of 70s and 80s rock, which is Australian, but we like all sorts of music.
It's one of those things, people often ask us, why do you want to repeat a sound that's already been, accomplished? Why would you want to try and sound like AC/DC when they've done it so well? And it's not that we're going out to try and sound like AC/DC. We're just playing the music that we love playing. You know, like, if people enjoy what we're doing, then that's fucking great. If they don't enjoy it, then that's totally fine as well. You know, we're doing the music that we want to play. We don't want to be someone that we're not.
We're not trying to please anyone else. We're just trying to please ourselves and
much.
the people coming to the show.
Yeah, that's it. How would you describe it?
Noisy.
Oh, look, it's 10 songs, all varying sort of feel to them. You know, we've got your fast, punch in the face, 100 mile an hour
Definitely
songs.
no ballads or anything.
Yeah,
like
no
that.
ballads
It's
or
just
anything.
foot to the floor the whole time.
Yeah, it's good drinking music.
Yeah.
Well,
I have no idea.
to be honest, I have no idea either.
Before my time.
Our old guitarist, Scotty, it was his idea. I think what we were trying to do is we were all in rehearsal one night and we were all standing around, we're going, okay, like, we want to play a cover song at the next gig, but we don't want to do one that's really obvious. We want to pick something that's really random that no one is going to believe that we've done, but they've still got to know it. So we were thinking, like, what's a popular pop song that we could use? And we thought, oh, well, this has got a really good chorus and stuff, so let's change the song to, you know, make it like the deep end, and then we'll do that. And then we ended up enjoying it that much that we ended up recording it and putting it on the old EP, and then the old EP has been added to this album for release here in Europe through Bad Reputation, which is cool, as bonus tracks.
Now I know the story.
So next interview, you can tell them.
Yeah. We may end up covering one of our favourite songs on a recording in the future, but nothing's set in stone.
A song, but yeah, not a full record, no way.
I find it a bit strange when bands make full cover albums. Like, if you've got the money and the time to do it, yeah, go for it, but I prefer to write original music.
Yeah. I'd happily be a part of, like, a compilation album of all different bands covering different songs. Like, that'd be cool, but could never release a full EP of covers. You'd feel rude, you know, like, you'd feel like you weren't doing them justice. So, well, back home in Australia, we have our own distribution. So we had to do it back home for ourselves, and then luckily we had Bad Reputation come along afterwards, and then they said they wanted to release it in Europe, so we had it for Europe after we had it already in Australia. Yeah, that was amazing.
Was great. There were a few other bands in Australia that had done that and been very successful. Large amounts of money that were raised in a small amount of time. So we weren't sure how it was going to go. We put it up, and I think we put what was about a month on it.
There was 6 weeks.
6 weeks to reach its goal, which was, you know, a few $1,000s, and it was actually within the first couple of days we'd almost raised the total that we were looking for. So
raised like 80% in the first 2 days. So
and we had people like that you hang out with on the weekend at bars, you know, people that play in other bands, family, but then we had people that like like had seen one show and enjoyed it that much that they put a couple $100s in.
Yeah. The thing that made me feel the most special was the other musicians in other bands that we know have no money. They have no money just like us. And then when you see them putting in money, it's just like, wow, man, like that's too much. Like $20, like, whoa, no, man, like, dude, keep it, you know, like. But there was people like that helped us get over the line, and, you know, it's helped us to afford drinking a beer here with you guys right now, for example. So it's good. World domination.
Record tour,
Yeah,
record
pretty much.
tour. Maybe take a day off. Then.
Maybe have a holiday. Nah.
Yeah.
We don't like to plan too far ahead, but short term, once we get back home to Australia after this tour, we're going to be writing the full second album, and then we're going to record that hopefully towards the end of this year, and then release it either towards the end of this year or hopefully at the absolute latest the start of next year, and then come back to Europe and just keep putting all the dots together.
So we'll probably go into hibernation for a little bit, but we definitely want to, you know, play Europe again as soon as we
back.
can.
Yeah, we'll be back for sure.
Cool.
That's yeah.
Yes.
So we got up this morning. We had a big night last night drinking, or as they say in Australia, on the piss. And then we woke up I don't know, about like 10 o'clock or something. I wasn't going to get out of bed, and the other guys had organised this big day, so we got up. We went rented some bikes, and we thought we'd ride to the Eiffel Tower and a few other places. It sounds like a very easy thing to do, but
Yeah. Put it this way, traffic in Australia there's not much of it compared to here. You guys on the roads here are fucking crazy.
Paris is
Seriously, so we're riding on these little push bikes, and there's like buses zooming past and scooters like bashing into us and
freaks me out
stuff.
thinking about it.
We rode like maybe 3.5, 4 hours on these push bikes today, and like everyone was just. We made it. We made it eventually to. Went to the Notre Dame. Went to the Eiffel Tower, which was amazing. I always wanted to go there, and just did all the touristy things and stuff.
Yeah, we definitely like to get it out and see.
It's always really hard because we play 6 nights a week most weeks. So you wake up, you have to drive to the next city or town that you're playing, check into the hotel, then you have to go do sound check and stuff, and then you have to have dinner, then you play the show, and then before you know it, the day's over. You have to do the same thing day after day. Luckily, we had a day off yesterday, but we spent all day driving, so by the time we got there last night, we just wanted to drink. So we got up early this morning and did all that stuff, which was really cool, really cool. Scary, but cool. French bands.
What's the one?
Harmonic Generator.
Okay. Yeah.
Great French band.
Yeah.
They're from Marseille, so
Sort of put us.
you don't go party with them in Marseille because it's too dangerous. Gut Scrapers. They're from Nimes.
They're from France.
They're from France. They're two bands that we played with in Montpellier. It's really cool. That's pretty much it off the top of my head. That's all I can think of.
Okay. Thank you so much for the
Merci beaucoup.
De rien.
Cool.
Great.